right, today we're continuing on with what I call the cheat chords. These are great for worship music. They fill space better. They're less clunky sounding when you're making changes. And once you get the fingerings down, they're much easier to move around with less thought. So let's dive in. Today we're going to talk through the E shapes. All right, so we're talking through the E shapes today. These are awesome because for every single chord you're playing, you've got two open notes ringing all the time. So that is your B string and your high E. And much like the other shapes that we've gone over, your hand stays in one spot. So your hand is always going to be between the second and the fourth fret for all chords. So it looks like your hand is barely moving, and it's awesome. So we'll go through these now. Starting on the E. Now a typical E chord is this, right? But for easier movements, we're going to actually change it a little bit. So you're going to have your open low E string, and then you're going to bar your second fret A and D string like that with your first finger, and then you're going to put your pinky on the G string fourth fret and do that, and then open B and high E. So the whole chord is going to be this. Might take some getting used to bar those two strings. That's probably the hardest part. You hear those open strings ringing out. It's real nice. All right, so going from the 1 to the 4, the A chord, you're going to open up your A string, and then your first finger will stay on D string second fret, and then your pinky is going to stay on the fourth fret G string, and then again keep those high strings open, and that's your 4 chord. Okay, so 1 to 4. So you're barring, and then you're not barring. And then we'll go to the 5. So for the 5, the B, you're going to play a very familiar power chord, basically. So first finger on A string, second fret. Third finger is going to go on D string, fourth fret. And then your pinky is going to stay on the G string, fourth fret. Open B and E. And that's your 5 chord. Now for the 6, this is probably a little more complicated if you're not familiar with it. But what you're going to do is your third finger is going to move to the A string, fourth fret. Get your bass note there, the C sharp. And then your first finger is going to go on the D string second fret, like that. And then fourth finger stays still on that G string fourth fret. That basically never moves, your pinky. So you got those 3 notes. And then once again, open B and E. So something you'll probably need to practice and get familiar with is moving between the 5 and the 6. It's kind of like a spider effect there. You're flip-flopping those fingers like that. So 5 to 6. But it's helpful to know that it's only the first and the third finger that are moving. Your pinky is always staying there, and these strings always stay open. So that's a good thing to remember. And I would practice changes from every other chord, right? So maybe your progression is a 1 to a 6, so practice 1 to 6. Maybe do this to a metronome. And then maybe a 4 to a 6. That one's easier because the first and the pinky are the same in both those chords. The only thing that's changing is your bass note. So for the 4, your A string is open, and then for the 6, your third finger goes on the 4th fret A string. And then we've already covered 5 to 6. And those are your E cheat chords. Sounds a lot better than if you're just doing like. See, I never do that, so I can barely play it. This is way better. And more space is filled because these high strings are just always ringing out. Pretty cool. And as always, you want to change the key of the song, but you want to play those same fingerings. Grab a capo, F sharp. Let's play an F sharp. Even up here, it would probably sound great too. There they are, the E shapes.